Hello, coin collectors! Today we are reviewing Golden Force, a game that comes to us from developer Storybird Studio and publishers Pixel Heart and Just for Games. I played this one on Steam. It is also going to be available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. At the time of this review, I do not have the exact release date, and I don't have the price of the digital download. However, I do know that there will be some physical copies of the game available in Europe, and that's going to be coming out in January 2021. For the digital, they're saying sometime this quarter. I just don't know exactly when. Golden Force is a 2D action platformer where you are playing as one of 4 characters that are part of the Golden Force. They're kind of a motley crew of anti-heroes that are helping out to kill the King of Demons and his crew, and of course collecting a ton of loot along the way. There is only the one difficulty setting, so if you do like your games old school challenging, this one is going to be right up your alley. There is also a 2-player option here, which is helpful to have if you enjoy couch co-op, and the game is broken up into different worlds, each of which have different levels within them, and a boss to defeat at the end. There are roughly 4 or 5 levels in each world if you're including the boss levels, which do have a good amount of platforming before you actually get to the boss. Within each level, you have to slay a ton of different types of enemies. There are also checkpoints, which will help you out a little bit, but it's still very challenging even to get to the checkpoints. There are also different types of collectibles in each level, and you will need those collectibles to purchase upgrades, and those are very costly upgrades, I will have you know. And of course, you will collect a ton of coins. There are different types of treasure boxes, there are treasure goblins, there's treasure everywhere. Each of the 4 characters plays a little bit differently, but their basic moves are the same. You have your primary attack, you have a dash, you can hold down the attack button for a stronger attack, and there is a special. You will also need to use your dash as somewhat of a double jump in order to get to higher places. There are certain moments where you will have to slay a horde of enemies in waves in order to proceed, which is pretty standard for this type of game. I'm thinking of like Shantae, which one of the characters does look an awful lot like her. And there's also some other types of platforming mixed in here. You have some light puzzle solving, some switches to hit, things like that. Straight up, I'm going to tell you right now, this game is really hard. It is very challenging, or at least I thought it was, particularly to get all of the special collectible coins in order to get the upgrades, which you definitely need, particularly to beat some of the bosses. And on that note, the 2-player, which I did try out, is not implemented particularly well just yet. I'm always super psyched to have that option, but once we jumped into the 2-player mode, right off the bat, I realized that as soon as one of the characters goes off screen, it's next to impossible for them to catch back up to you. There appears on the left side of the screen a little bubble that shows where they are, but you can't see enough context to actually navigate through the level that way. And I also ran into some glitches. Somewhere around the 4th level of the 2nd world, there is a scene where you are hanging from vines, and one of the characters could get up onto the vine and hang and do the platforming, but the other one would just slip right off. Another fun glitch was at one point, one of the characters was just invincible for some reason, which was great for finishing the level, but not so great for actually finishing the level the way it was intended. And then in some of the levels when I was playing in 2-player, one of the characters would appear at the beginning and not the other, and you just couldn't proceed without quitting to the main menu and starting again. I realize this may very well just be an early build, and these are things that will be fixed, but I'm just pointing them out as some issues that I ran into. Graphically, this is styled as an old school 16-bit platformer, reminiscent a little bit of, say, Zelda or some other games from that era. The environments are very colorful and tropical, which makes sense because you are on Muscle Island after all. As anyone who have watched my reviews from the past knows, I am a sucker for anything retro 90s themed, and this is no exception. I love the way this game looks. And the soundtrack fits right in there as well. Very retro feeling, very 16-bit sounding. Definitely could have come right from an SNES game and I wouldn't have been surprised. There are also some sound effects thrown in here and there. Nothing too exciting, but you get a little prompt when you're supposed to proceed. Of course, there's the sounds when you hit enemies, and that's just about it as far as sound design. I know it's early and this game might have some changes before it actually comes out and hits the market, but so far I am having a good time with the platforming element of this game in the one-player mode. Not quite there for the two-player yet. Definitely a fair amount of challenge here, so if you like to be challenged, this is one to try out. If you are turned off by hardcore old school difficulty type games, maybe sit this one out. Also, with all of the collectibles, and there are a lot, this game will keep you busy for a while. I also have to tell you that I had to practice saying the name of this game because I kept wanting to say either Golden Axe or Shining Force, so I am just willing this to be a combination of those two games. Thank you so much for checking out our review of Golden Force. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button below where you can follow all of our reviews and previews, and check out the description box for links to our Discord, our merchandise store, and to memberships where you can support us further. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.